The Deduction Categories page can be accessed via the Payroll Settings tab, which can be found here, and also here. You can find the Deduction Categories page under the Pay Run Settings section here. On this page, you can set up deduction categories to be configured to suit the needs of your business. You can see that there are already 3 deduction categories set up as default: a pre-tax deduction, a post-tax deduction, and a pension salary sacrifice. You can edit these by clicking on the name of the deduction category. To add a new deduction category, simply click the Add button in the top right-hand corner of the screen. You'll then need to enter a name for this category here. Under deduction type, you can choose whether this will be a post or pre-tax deduction. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to set up a cycle to work scheme as a pre-tax deduction. You can enter an external ID here. If you're going to use an external ID that has not been used before, you can enter this in the field here. This is useful if you're importing timesheets and you want to add deductions to the timesheet file. If you're using an external ID that has been used before, you won't be able to save it if the unique external ID setting is switched on. This setting is located on the Payroll Settings Advanced Settings page. National Minimum and Living Wage. This is where you can select whether the deduction has no impact on applicable wage for national minimum wage. This is where you can select whether the deduction has no impact on applicable wage for the national minimum wage calculations. You can also reduce the applicable wage, or whether there are accommodation charges. The impact on pensionable earnings. You can select whether or not the deduction will have an impact on pensionable earnings here. And the last option here is national insurance calculation impact. Finally, you'll need to select whether or not the deduction will reduce NI-able earnings or have no impact on the national insurance calculations. Once you're happy with the settings, you can press Save. Once you have set up your deduction categories, they will be immediately available and you can assign them to employees via the Employee File Pay Run Inclusions page. Just a note, currently deductions cannot be imported, so they will need to be added manually by the following process. If you need to delete a deduction, simply click on the red bin on the right-hand side of the screen here. And that's all for the Deduction Categories page.